All righty, folks, we just did an Alex Hormozy quote. Now we're going to do an Albert Einstein quote. Just That's just who we are, Brian. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. How about you?
Every day's Saturday, man. Life is good. You ready for this Albert Einstein quote? He was a pretty smart guy.
He is a pretty smart guy. Hopefully we hold up to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring you something we couldn't riff on, but here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Stay away from negative people. They have a problem for every solution. Albert Einstein. How do you like that one?
Hmm. I actually, if you go back to my YouTube channel, I shot a video on this 4 months ago. Not on
Oh,
it was an Albert Einstein quote. It was just out of like, look, if you want to be successful in life, stop hanging around people that literally have a problem for every solution you give them. And
so amazing. Yeah.
oh, that's so profound, Mike. I think about, and we all know those people. As a matter, just this morning, I was texting with someone who is going through a difficult time, and they've been asking me a ton of questions. I know them from my church, and they've been asking me a lot of questions about life, business, real estate, all the above. And I've met with them on a separate occasion. This time I'm like, listen, you're in a transition period. I'm having a 5-day challenge this week. You get to spend 11 hours with me. Like, what I can share with you in a lunch, like, trust me, just come to the event. And they got a problem for every solution. It's like, oh well, this, or oh well, that. And I said, well, I just wanted to do my part and try to help, right?
And
But
help out.
there are literally people that refuse to accept the solution because they're problem oriented folks.
Yeah, I've actually so I took this quote, it's a picture, and I threw it out on Twitter, and I basically am telling everybody to block doomers.
Mm.
Doom is a huge business. Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it these days become a cesspool of negativity. Um, but again, even though Twitter and X is a cesspool, I've become very good at blocking fear and doom. I don't mind the opposite opinion when it's articulated with facts. But when you're like, everything's bad, it's always bad, blah, 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 I'm like, well, you're going to be broke your entire life
Mm.
because you were saying this in 19 and 20 and 21 and 22, and you've done nothing. I've, I just block doomers. I mean, if it's good enough for Albert Einstein, it's good enough for me.
100%. The interesting thing about that quote is he's saying negative people will create a problem for every solution.
Right.
But the real reality of life is that every solution creates another problem.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? You go read the book tells you some stuff to do, you go out and do it, you figure out you got another gap. Now you need the mentorship, right? You go out and do that stuff, you figure out you got another gap. So it's like every problem creates every solution creates another problem, but you just can't allow for people to create a problem for every solution.
Yeah. So let's kind of break this down. I think there's really two things that people need to do. We'll go to the one that you brought up earlier because I don't think people get it. They just don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
People got to audit their network. Look at the 5 people they spend the most time with, and I would actually challenge you. I would challenge you today. Rank them from the most positive to the most negative, and you might want to be cutting out the most negative. What do you think of that?
So we don't tell grown people what to do, Mike, but yeah, you need to cut out the most negative. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get as far away from those people as the East is from the West, or you're just gonna keep you're gonna keep perpetuating this cycle, man. I'm telling you, it's like an uphill battle on roller skates every single day, and because subconsciously you're not paying attention, it's killing you though.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's killing you.
Bad stuff does happen. And the more time you're in this game, and bad stuff sometimes happens in threes. But it's just an opportunity to learn and keep moving forward. Trust me when I say that financial freedom is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes time. And the more negative people you have around you, here's a belief I have. The more negative people you have around you, the less likely you're going to earn financial freedom. What do you think of that?
100%. Because if
Oh,
they're negative, they're constantly, riffing on their boss. I mean, it's everybody else's fault. Negative
yeah.
people are always victims, and it's always everybody else's fault. And here's the other thing. If they're having this conversation with you, what do you think they're having about you?
Yeah. Yeah. They're not really helping you along, right? You have an eviction. Like the very first property we ever bought,
Hmm.
did everything right. They got divorced 30 days after moving in. Wife left, husband became a drunk. Guess what? That didn't end well. If I had
Yeah.
negative people around me, I may never have taken a round two. But Olivia's positive. She's like, did we do anything wrong? Anything we can learn? Let's try it again, blah, blah, blah. And the rest is history. If you have
Did,
negative people in your life, cut them out.
did you know, and I'm talking to the viewers right now, that one of the most common responses to fear is anger and negativity?
Mm.
So what's happening is when you're hanging around people that are, you know, uh, chronically negative, is because they're really fearful of a lot of stuff, and they typically will speak negatively against things so that it doesn't make them come off as they're being fearful. And so if you do that for too long and you tell real estate business, you're telling people that, you want to work on retiring yourself from your job, you tell because they're fearful to take those action steps that you're willing to, they'll just speak negativity into that to try to mask the fact that they're fearful of it. And so inadvertently, they're projecting their fears on you. And if you soak that up for too much from people that you know, love, and trust, it's by default that it's going to paralyze you from doing the stuff that you need to do, because more of the input that you're getting is negative. So how can you create a positive output with negative input?
Yeah. Agree with all that. But let's go one step further. We just talked about people physical around you. I
Mm-hmm.
think in today's age, it needs to be applied to social media. We have all of these apps, and most of you have multiple apps on your phone that are just feeding you information. That can be a power of good, or it can just be another set of negative doom and fear. I will tell you this, if you're looking at any social media app and you feel worse after looking at it, that's on you. Stop blaming the algorithm. You're the idiot that's clicking on that content and it's giving you what you ask for. That's how these algorithms work. They're giving you what you want. So own your stuff and change it.
Yeah, 1000%. And I'll be the first to say, and you remember this, Mike, I lost my Instagram like a year and a half ago. Somebody came and hacked me or whatever. But at that time, I'd had that for like 4 years, right? I had over 30,000 followers and all the rest of it. And I was probably following a couple thousand people myself. But they were people that I met along the way, whether directly or indirectly. And what I found was that most times I looked at my feed, I didn't like it. But because I was so new to the social media world, I really didn't understand that it's not reality. It seems like it is, but it's not, right? And I'm just being vulnerable right now. And so I had a difficult time unfollowing people because I thought it was disrespectful to them, right? If they saw that I unfollowed them because I didn't particularly care for, because these were people that I connected with in some way, shape, or form. And one of the best things that happened for me was when I lost my social media and I started over.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I was extremely intentional on only following people that make me feel good when I watch
Yeah.
their content, right? And
Fill in your cup. Yeah.
they got to be filling my cup, and I've had our students go through the same exercise over the last year or so, and so many of them have just talked about how much better they feel every day. And I'm talking about parents, well, probably not well, maybe some people, yeah, parents probably should be on that list, but family, right?
Yeah.
Family, anybody that doesn't fill your cup, and maybe you got some personal stuff you working through to where when you look at their content, maybe they're not doing nothing wrong to you, but you got some things that you need to work on personally to get to a
Yeah.
place where you feel better. That's okay too. And it is nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. Is being responsible, because if you wake up every day and you getting your teeth kicked in emotionally, it's kind of hard to have a good day, Mike. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
it so is. Yeah, it is.
Right. And so you walk around in this depressed state all the time. You just killing your creativity. You killing your momentum. Like, give yourself the best opportunity every day, because to your point, Mike, you're gonna deal with problems anyway. And so
Exactly.
you can't start off with self-inflicted problems on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. Folks, I got to ask you, who's excited to see Brian Adamson in Vegas, get a picture, maybe an autograph, whatever it is? He's coming out to the end February 17th and 18th. He's going to be speaking. And I just look forward to shaking your hand, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Likewise, Mike.
How can people find you?
Brian Adamson Official, YouTube, Instagram, and otherwise. Look forward to connecting with more of you guys.
Yeah, folks, send him a note on Instagram, thanking him for being here each week. We appreciate him. I appreciate him. You're the best, man. Take care.
Thanks, bro.